Trump showed up to what that was. It was the National Black Journalists.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about it. He had got into it.
So this was yesterday.
One person or something, right?
Yeah, it started out crazy.
Heard on Fox News.
Election years of inviting former.
So they got right into it. I watched the whole thing.
The Republican president of the United States, the Republican nominee for president, former President Donald Trump.
Trump came in. Trump walked in that motherfucker like Trump in the building, Trump in the building, Trump in the building, hey, Trump in the building, Trump in the building, hey, Trump in the building, hey.
You know what the fuck hip hop is, you know what I'm
Mr.
talking
President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort.
That's a lot.
So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
I say the bullshit.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question.
That was a tough question.
You don't even say, hello, how are you?
Question,
are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
I'm ready to clap back.
I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala,
she kind of went in, folks.
My opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said you can't do it with Zoom.
Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom. You can't be giving these niggas
and then you were half an hour late, just so we understand.
They gonna fair break on y'all, man. You know what I'm talking about?
They couldn't get their equipment working or something
Mr.
was
President,
wrong.
I would love
think
if you
it's
can
a
answer
very
the question
nasty
on your
question.
And why you
I have answered the question. I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
For you to start off a question and answer.
He just responded like an old man now. It's like, but man, she pissed his ass off. Gaslight. I've been looking for the word. She gaslighted the shit out that old man, and she knew it, folks. You know what I'm talking about? And once he knew, he like, I'm gonna keep it together, folks. I'm keep it together. But man, she went for about 2 minutes talking about all the bad shit I ain't even know about, folks. He don't even remember. It was over man. So that was the first question for when he said, "Damn, no, folks. Hey, I ain't never coming back, DOZHATOLDYA. Do that shit again and meet me in the motherfucker." Oh, come on, man.
You say, hey, she got it out of the way. She just, hey, let me go get straight to business. First off, fuck them in the clique you claim. West Side, remember I come and clip with game. You claim to be a player, but I want your wife. Maybe for some bad boy niggas, but for life. Know what I'm saying?
And why should we vote for your ass, man, nigga?
in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of
Sir,
that.
I'm asking you a question.
Define it for me if you would.
I just defined it.
No, you said what that shit is. I want to know what the fuck that shit is too. It sounds like motherfucking what they say, affirmative action type shit. If like that what you saying, well just say that shit. You know, like you actually was like.
So DEI
is
diversity. It stands for diversity, inclusion.
I know what it stands for, but we both, me and this nigga and the rest of the audience,
we all know what it stands for. And inclusion.
Okay, what does it mean?
So there have been people that have been calling Kamala Harris a DEI candidate. DEI is also a code word. It's a trigger word that Republican conservatives have been using to call out black people getting black people doing jobs that they're not supposed to, not necessarily not supposed to do, but
like somebody entitlement or like you just in position, like similar to nepotism, but
DEI.
For people that need it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay if George W. Bush could be president, but if this guy get a shot, then they on the same level.
Right. Somebody
just gave shit to him.
So
I got you.
Relatively, it's anti-conservative. It's also an anti-majority or anti-ruling class policy because they're gonna feel like their nepotism is actually, just
it takes away from it, and it makes people uncomfortable.
Yes.
If it's fair, it's not gonna be fair for them. You know what I'm saying?
Directly, not directly, very much, and. She was always of Indian heritage, and she was...
Those Republicans, that is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition of that?
So we went from DEI to him calling out Kamala Harris.
Heritage.
And we might well cue the Nas.
Directly, very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman.
I respect either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't. Because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she went, she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask, continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans
I really don't
have
know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length. And we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that interview.
You told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion.
Hey, you can already tell what type of person she is without even really seeing her. You can just hear it in her voice. Well, you told me it was the longest one in your life.
It probably was. It was a long-ass fucking interview. She ain't never interviewed
I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean, it is not lost on us how divided we are as a country. And as you were coming today, we really got to see that we are divided along the lines of race, along the lines of
So she's from the Fox News network.
Gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it, but one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
and
Mr.
they're taking the.
That boy said black job is anybody that got a job.
Man, but if you telling the truth though, man, even you don't like me, man, you gotta respect me, folks. Nobody wanna do this shit, folks. It's a black job. It's a job that nobody it's always been this way. Like, what the fuck you people don't understand? Like, you want social media to make that shit not to be the reality, folks? He telling you, hey, well, if you want to cheat or steal or get a loan or go bank or whatever the fuck, you don't even want to play the game, I might show you how to do that shit.
The employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And
I feel that shit. They got to build houses from the ground up. Hey, when I be side by side by them, man, you ain't finna outwork me, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna have my son out there and shit. Like, man, fuck these motherfuckers, man. You know, not because they illegal. They speak English. I fuck with them. You know, I appreciate the trade, right? But they got the motherfucking companies, the jobs, and everything else. Nigga, you talking about? Like, talking about, I ain't working for the white man. Like, nah, you ain't even better work for the Mexican, huh? You don't work hard enough. You see what I'm saying? It's like, no, they generational out here, folks. You know what I mean? So
they definitely gonna be with the nepotism.
Why wouldn't they? That's all they know. Most cultures, that's all they know. Shit, Rick Ross and American Deli, first nigga that work for Chinese folk, man.
Right.
In food service, you know what I'm saying? Like a Chinese restaurant.
So, what would you say for me if I ask or claim or as just defense, what about the people that hire the worker? Like, whose fault is it all the way? Is it
well, you talking about being
the person looking for work, or is it the person that hires?
Well, you talking about being in a position to employ. So you have a budget where it's like certain things.
I mean the person that hires the illegal.
But whether it's
hired.
But whether it's a legal or a resident, if they don't look like you or don't fit the class that you want protected, then you got something to say. Oh, it's not enough people in wheelchairs that work at this place. You know what I mean? Like, everybody gonna have something to say. Or my son should be starting quarterback. Everybody gonna always have something to say. Thing is, we never had objectivity when it comes to roles and positions, especially when you equate salary to it. So it's like the hardest workers, like a lot of times getting paid the less. It don't matter who does it. But the fact that you do have immigrants, illegal or otherwise, I mean, the country built on immigration, right? They have a propensity to work harder than second generation middle class American. And it's been happening for probably about, since the Cold War, man. So you're talking about like since Vietnam for real, you know? That's why you got baby boomers, you know? Them baby boomers created some cake-ass kids that got cake-ass kids. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, and now these baby boomers got some punk-ass great-grand kids, you know what I'm saying?
I know I'm on here texting, and, you know, I'm listening to you, man, and you're making some very good points.
And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that, and Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once, but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country, and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs, and frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly affected by all of the millions of people that are pouring into our country. And one thing, as we discussed, many of these people are coming in from mental institutions, from...
So you know how it goes. It's the same. He gonna come to your spot, and he gonna say the same. He gonna say his script. He gonna get his pitch.
I'm talking to you,
he ain't answering no questions.
Tell me what's going on.
And that's his pitch.
Down. And our crime rate is going to be a disaster.
Mr. President, I want to get into how you address some of the issues with black communities. And I say that plural because we live in communities of color that are different. We're not all the same. We don't vote the same. We don't think the same.
True.
It's not monolithic. So as you come here today, I want to talk about something that bursts, and this is the weight of the inflation on this country right now. The nonprofit Money Management International recently released data from its mid-year analysis that we have found a 52% rise in people who are seeking counseling for being in credit debt. They're paying for food that is sky high on their credit cards, and now they can't pay that off. The credit counseling nonprofit MMI, as I said, is saying now that they've seen surges that they haven't seen since we were in a pandemic of people in financial trouble. Much of that falls on the shoulders of single moms, single black moms, when you look statistically. Yeah. How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the black community when it comes to money?
So, first of all, it's very hard to hear you for whatever reason because of the fact that they have bad equipment, because I guess, you know, this woman was unable to get the right equipment. But it's very hard for me to hear you, but I can hear every other word.
You want to smack him,
it's
man.
very difficult, actually. But so I don't know if they can fix it or do something with it, but I'll do the best I can with it. The inflation is absolutely destroying our middle class, our working class, virtually every class. Inflation is a disaster in our country. Inflation is a country buster. It breaks every country. And we had, in my opinion, the worst inflation we've had. They say it's 58 years, but I think it's much more than that. It's been devastating. And if you just take a look at a lot of things they don't include, like interest rates. Interest rates went from 2.4% to 10%, and you can't get the money. People can't buy houses. They no longer have the American dream.
It does make current policy bad, man. They didn't cut it. They're going to cut it on the next term, but they should have got ahead of this shit, man, if they want a chance. Man.
So I just wanted to give Trump a time because I know I play a lot of Biden.
Yeah.
I play a lot of, I want to say that he was hostile, but he was also treated hostile.
He was hostile as fuck, but man, he wanted to smack him, man. You know what I'm saying?
He was hostile.
He was mad, folks. He was mad, folks. So when I sit down, hey, run that shit back one time. That the question for like how she started, like you pull up to pick up your kid or something, right? Man, you owe child support and the whackhead tennis shoes you bought for the first day of school, and you ain't got to pick them up for football practice, this, that, the third, and how you gonna solve all the problems?
He was shooting at her the whole night. That's Rachel Scott.
Or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
And who would?
I think I'd know.
How would you make that decision?
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated
Oh my goodness!
No, go back to her question, man.
And I'm fine with
about
it
the
because she was
taught
very
premises
rude,
at the
sir.
School of Business
Very
in Florida.
rude. That was a nasty. That wasn't a
Premise,
question. She
ask
gave me a
question, right?
She gave a
And we
statement.
knew
That
when we
wasn't a
put
question.
people
I
on
really
edge.
agree with statements.
Well, she went in knowing that she gaslighting this dude, man. Like, started talking about, like, shit that we can't even, like, I ain't even gonna remember this shit when you finish. I just knew it was bad. And, like, got in some real hip-hop shit. You know what I mean? Like, what are you really asking me for? But you just said all this shit. I cannot respond to all of this slanderous shit you just said, folks.
Yeah,
she went in.
She dropped it.
She dropped it. I mean, that was to hit him up, folks. And she did to hit him up, man. Kind of smooth. Well, she did like the Will Smith, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
It was
saying?
a decades-long tradition during election years of inviting journalists to discuss the policies and their Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. We use opportunities like...
Bring him out. He just sit down. First question.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time.
An hour, appreciate it.
I want to start by addressing
start.
the elephant in the room, sir.
This the elephant?
A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals. To former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States.
Come on.
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that? Some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama.
So after that, she said, so after all that.
States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
That's tough, man.
So he was focusing. He was revving up too. He was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get it.
I'm gonna get it. Man, he blamed on the equipment, folks.
Think she can touch me? I eat this type of shit for lunch. Bitch.
What's up, niggas?
You think you can fuck with me? You fuck with me, you fuck with the best, son. You fuck with the best.
I can't really hear you, folks. I can't really hear you, man. Your equipment ain't shit, folks. You know what I'm saying? Damn, y'all. It'd be like that, man.
A little bit,
It'd be
man.
like that, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a goofy soap opera, man. We just gotta stay
I don't
cool,
think I've
calm.
ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
My boy came out there with the shots, man. Oh yeah, my bad. I had to turn down the shots. Silent shots.
Silent shots, yeah. Double
Nah,
O.
they loud, man.
Double O, no face, no case, man.
Sorry, man. PTSD, turn me down. Turn me down. This is the PTSD episode, man. So yeah, man, he gave it to him, and I appreciate your stance. That was a hostile question.
No, I'm saying, like, man, like I'm not a celebrity. I'm no face, no case, man. But you might have like Beyonce. What you gonna say? Hello first or whatever he wanted to happen. That shit didn't happen, folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever he expected to happen. You know what I'm saying? That shit didn't happen. So I was like, oh well, thank you for giving me an hour. Now you ready? Like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I done seen podcasts, right? Motherfucker like, oh, you tripping, folk. They take out the headphone and don't even say nothing, walk out, or it be some smoke or something.
Annual meeting of the National Association of Black Journalists.
Hold on, my bad. I didn't mean to kill your point.
No, I mean the point is that you always gonna be respectful. I mean, you can have a Republican now, you can have a Klan member in here. You still gonna say, take a seat. And then you still give, that was ambush journalism. That's basically what he was saying. And he been dealing with journalists for how many years since he's a teenager, or 20s or something, you know? That was clear ambush journalism. He think I'm gonna walk out to the stage, I'm gonna cool shit, I'm gonna sit down, be like, what's up? Yeah, I'm happy to be here, Chicago, this, that, and the third, let's get into it. Ask about my family or something, you know what I'm talking about? Then we get into it. Let's get the elephant out of the room real quick. Nah. How many elephants? It's a herd of elephants? Well, you been all in my closet, folks. You must work for the CIA, folks.